Hey, what's up? It's Mykill Metal, and I am back playing some Kerbal Space Program. And right now, I am sending a science lander to Eve. As you can see, I have 2 extra materials bay and science and goo canisters on the outside, so I can get high and low altitude science, as well as the lander, which is going to make it to the surface, and grab some surface while flying over Eve, and another one on the surface. And here we are at Eve. Just trying to circularize it, bringing it on in. And as you can see, I have visual enhancements, so there is a fuck ton of clouds which is blocking the entire planet and preventing me from seeing any of the land masses, so I can set up a landing point. And grabbing some science while coming into the atmosphere. And we got Mach effects. Extend the gear, do some science, send it back to Kerbal. So we get low enough, I'm going to pop the chutes. There they go. And just bring it on down nice and slow. Still going at about 70. Once they fully deploy, you can see we're going at 3 to 4 meters per second, which is perfect. And bring this on down slow and try to make sure it's all lined up with the ground so it doesn't tip over, and extend the panels. Get the last bit of science out of it. And we will begin with our space station for Duna. This is going to be the Duna station. See, we got the cupola module on the top. We have a hitchhiker can in the middle, and then we got the science lab to do science research. I don't know what you call that. Processing, probably. But yeah. Here we go. Nice launch. Didn't really have any problem. I had to do it twice because the first time it did the cartwheel shit and decided that it did not want to make it to orbit because I only had like 4,200 meters per second of delta V, because that's all pretty much that I need to get into orbit. And then I used the nuclear engine to circularize it and head on out to Duna. And as you can see, I turned off those engines once I was getting in there. And here we are at Duna. And just bring this nice and slow in and circularize it. As you can see, I also have the distant object enhancements, so you can probably see a couple of the planets and stuff when I switch back from map view. I'm going to stop it, go all the way around one more time, and try to circularize it again, because it tends to move the periapsis around if you don't do this. Now just leave the periapsis at the right spot and circularize. And here we go, bringing in the first set of arms. Well, the first arm. Putting that in there, getting it nice and straight. Detach this part. Bring it away, get it nice and clear from it so it won't cause any damage, and bring it back to the planet. And here's it crashing. Nice crash. And here's the second arm. These are going to be holding the solar arrays. And there we go, we got both arms on there. Straighten this out, set it up right north and south. And crash this into the surface. Some of it survived, and it's still on the planet. There you go. MechJeb pod survived. And here we go, bringing in the first solar array. Bringing in nice and slow, coming in about 0.5 meter per second. Bringing it in, get it all centered, then bringing it in a little bit slower, and attached. And we're going to pop this away and extend all the panels and such. There we go with the radiators. Get all of those nice and extended. It looks pretty nice. And here comes this crashing into the surface. So there's no clutter out in orbit. And here's the second solar array. Bring that in nice and slow. Attach it. Detach that. Bring it away from the station. And extend all the panels. I have to do this manually because if I tried to do it with an action group, they'd all close on the one side and open on the other, and it would be it. And get this all nice and straightened out. And there you go. There's a nice view of the space station. And this is me landing the rover on the surface. It's a little unbalanced, but whatever. It's going to be how the Kerbals are going to get back and forth between all the habitat modules and whatever, the miner and the power truss and all that stuff to set up the pipes. And I did kind of set it up backwards, so I had to drive backwards on the surface. That was kind of fun. There we go. I'm going to set this up right next to the habitat module. There we go. Just get it all set up nice and cozy right there. Put the brakes on. And then I can switch to my next task, which is actually sending the Kerbals, whatever, to Duna. This is them going up to meet the landing container thing that I already put up in orbit. Figured this video was long enough already. You didn't need to see that part too because there was nobody in it. And there we go, just getting this up in orbit. And once I get it into orbit, this is me bringing it into dock. Just bring it in nice and slow it down a little bit, and there we go, attached. And Kerbal looks nice with the visual enhancements. And we're going to bring Bill and Bob up and put them in the hitchhiker container so they can sit up there for the whatever couple of months it is for the journey. But Jeb is going to stay down in the main command capsule in order to pilot the ship himself for the transducer burn, or whatever you want to call it. And there you go, gets him all nice and cozy in the hitchhiker container, which is kind of on a weird angle. And there we go. We're all nice and cozy in there. And you got a nice view of Kerbal out the window for a second. And this is them already at Duna. And they set up, and now they're going to get into the lander can. Jebediah and I think Bob, I could be wrong, and they get set up for a trip to the surface. And this is them coming in for a landing. Gotta change it a little bit. I was about a 1.5 kilometers off, so I had to slow it down a little bit first and pop the chutes because I'm going to overshoot it. Slow down, and there we go. Looks like I overdid it a little bit. And we're going about 8 meters a second, I think, if I can read that. So, bring it in nice and slow, make sure it doesn't tip over. And put Jeb on the surface. Just stepping on out to Duna. This is his first interplanetary mission. And he's going to take a surface sample and an EVA report, and he's going to bring it back with him as he attempts to get back in, but is slightly unsuccessful with the higher gravity than the places he's been before. He's used to the moon and such, so he had a little trouble in his first go. Extend the ladder for the next person, because that was a little painful. And here we go back up into orbit, putting Bill back in the pilot seat. Bringing it in nice and slow. And capture. And now I'm going to get the right angle on it and grab Bill and send him up to the science lab. And that's where he's going to wait until the rest of them get back. But until next time, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mykill, and I will see you later.